Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode, I've actually already recorded it at the time of speaking here, and what I've done is I've logged into the experimental server for the first time since a most recent update, because I've been away for a few days, and I've come in and there's a few new features on there, and what I want to do is just run through that with you and let you know what I think, have a look at the new tutorial and that sort of thing, the new splash screens you enter the game, and just see how things are coming, and it's really building up the excitement coming to the live server at some point. So if you enjoy this, please do hit that subscribe button, drop a comment as to what you're most excited for, hit the like button, and if you want to support on Patreon, the link will be in the description below. But for now, let's get to the video. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I've just logged into the experimental server and we've got a brand new little splash screen here. I just wanted to quickly run through that and have a look at it. I haven't clicked on the different tabs yet, I don't know what else is on here, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. There's so many good changes coming through to Moonbreaker and I'm really excited to sort of see what we've got. So the first thing we've got is just a bit of artwork I wanted to look at before I look at the text. So we've got Chuck and Co over here, we've got Axel Pyro, we've got Switchback, so that's DB and Recoil over there, and Crankbait, and some really cool looking backdrops over here. So I started to get a bit more of an idea of like the sort of the actual lore, the area of where we're going to be spending our time in the Reaches. So we've got like Zone 7 over here, a couple of characters overlooking things, a cool looking thing here which looks almost like a spaceship. And we've got Welcome to the Reaches, where moons orbit a magnificent sun and share a massive atmosphere alive with airships, flying beasts and sprawling storms. It's home to rich cultures, bizarre organisms and cinder. A precious stone glowing with the sun's energy, powering technology, supercharging creatures and imbuing ordinary people with legendary abilities. And we've got another welcome here. Okay, so here we've got some of the actual character models, some of the map backgrounds here, interesting. And we've got audio dramas chart the quests of our heroes. When their courses collide, they're re-hurled into an adventure across the system. Build and paint rosters of captains and crew to to battle in fantastic clashes beyond the story's saga. All captains seek Cinder, but orbits are changing and new powers are rising. Will you raid the moons or help protect them? I like that sort of idea. Sort of you starting to get a narrative going as to why the captains are doing what they're doing. That's something that's been missing so far. We've had a bit in the audio dramas, but that gives sort of an overarching sort of story there. The will you raid them or protect them, which is very interesting. And lastly, we recommend learning the basics on units and tactics at the Methodori training grounds. So we've got I'll take my chances and no thanks, or off to the academy, yes to training. Now I've heard good things about the new tutorial. Ooh, command and control. So this loading screen, I believe that command and control is probably what's I think the next set is maybe being referred to as.
Learn how to survive in the Reaches. I'll show you a good time. I mean, serious, informative training.
Maximus still living up to his fantastic little personality there. Really great to see that. Do you know what? I didn't think that this is where we were heading when I started this video, but honestly, I'm happy for it. I've been wanting a new tutorial for a while, so I'm really glad we've got something coming in. So let's see. I've heard talk that this is going to be good.
There waits Crankbait, a notorious smuggler from Blasco's Refuge.
Okay, so we know Blasco's Refuge is the smuggler hideout in general. I apologise, just drinking a slight coffee here because I wasn't expecting this to last this long.
You can admire the model and paint job of any unit. It's not part of combat. We're just magnificent.
That is true. This is something I'm glad that they're sort of pointing out as well. Inspect the unit by mousing over it and holding the control key. There we go. So this is one of the tools that when people were doing the sponsored streams, I was showing people this, just pointing out this is such a good thing. Also, these unit cards up here are great, because you can see that we've now lost the fast keyword, but there's actually implemented different movement speeds for different units. I can't wait to try this out. This is going to make such a big difference to the balance of the game, gives a little bit more depth to it, and you can see the Cinder generation as well. So, really great start here. Where are we off to next? Yay, Foe Maximus!
Turn-based game where each unit can move, attack, and use their abilities each turn.
Really glad we've got the actual Maximus voice actor back as well.
Looks like they failed to capture my undeniable allure.
I honestly adore this Foe Maximus. I think it's fantastic.
Let's start that party with a melee attack. Hoocha! Melee
Hoocha!
must move to touch the target's base before they can strike.
Okay, yep, very clear here, which is excellent. I really want to be able to inspect that little Foe Maximus again. Eliminate the enemy target with melee attack. Select crankbait, select move, then move crankbait into melee range. Select melee, then click on the enemy target. There we go. Little foam carved Maximus there. I honestly love it. So we're just going to do this the simple way. We're going to move to here. We're not going to use like the quick controls or anything like that. Select melee, select target. I still love the keyboard shortcuts. I don't use them very often, but I'm glad that they're there. Okay, and then visualization for melee range. I'm really glad that that's in there as well. A bit of clarification as to what's in melee range and what isn't. Okay, so is that... Yep. Okay, so I think that does look to be all that we can get going for now. We've already done our melee attack. I think the game... Let's see if it's got key binding for end turn at the moment. Because usually there's... End turn. There you go. End turn is not currently bound, so let's try that. Okay, so we can end turn if we rebind it. We couldn't click it though.
Now, in a real battle, enemy melee units will counterattack any attacking unit touching its base. So, watch yourself. Moving on, meet Aria, a ranged unit.
Really glad that they've also clarified about the counter-attacking, because I don't think that was very clear in the original tutorial.
Let's get it on from a distance.
Let's get it on from a distance. I really like Aria's like face design there. It's quite cool.
Ranged attacks have a hit chance based on a unit's distance from the target. Abilities, cover, and other units may also affect accuracy. Let's use Aria's ranged attack to snipe that target.
Okay, great. More clarity here. Like, this is a really huge improvement on the previous tutorial. So we can select Aria. We can move, or it just wants us to range. Now we can see here we've got a 91% chance, so that's pretty good, so we'll just go for that, because it specifically says select Aria, select range, then click on the target. So we're not going to do anything else. Now we can end the turn. So we did have to rebind it the first time, but now we can click it here. Making friends, yeah. Okay, more little mini foam Maximuses.
To eliminate the new targets, observe how distance affects ranged attack accuracy.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. So, Aria, I am just going to move closer and just, in fact, make sure Crankbait can get there. Yeah, going to try and do this efficiently. Move closer to get 100%, and move Crankbait over here and get this attack in here. Awesome.
Death has arrived.
Yeah, Extilior's here. Death has
For your
arrived.
enemies, surely. That's your captain, Extilior.
We do love Extilior.
Captains
I can't wait for more stories.
and health than crew. It seems a little showy if you ask me.
Honestly, the fact they've still captured Maximus's essence in this is great.
Clicking on a unit displays a tooltip with details on unit cost, attack, health, and abilities.
Okay, so Cinder cost to deploy. Obviously that now needs to be changed. That's going to be leadership now. But really good bit of difference there. I also think that this line needs to sort of move up slightly, so just to account for the new card, make it a bit clearer that that's pointing to this gap in the middle. But because there aren't any passive abilities and keywords here, so like I think this is probably based on the fact that fast used to be here, and this was probably higher up. So I think this is actually just the new card put in, but keeping the old frame around it. So this probably needs to be updated, but still happy with it. Activity and cost to use, attack type and power, health and armored or not. And then it also doesn't mention here that we've got, so you can hover over it for speed and cinder generation, but the tutorial doesn't mention it. So a couple of tweaks needed here, but a huge improvement on what it was previously. Okay, click on Extilior to examine his tooltip. There we go. So we've got tutorial Extilior, large melee.
They say Extilior's an honorable death bot. Let's try one of his chivalrous abilities.
The interesting thing on this version is that even though I'm imagining this is just because it's a tutorial one, but he doesn't have his passive here, but this is tutorial Extilior, so glad that all of these are listed here. I'm curious as to where the speed lines up with other captains, but yes, let's try one of his chivalrous abilities. Use Shield of Hope on one of... Oh! Use Shield of Hope, immediately clicked the wrong one. Was that always in that order? Yeah, it must have been. I wanted to do it on Aria, but I've put them in the wrong place, so we're just going to shield a hook crankbait, and we'll move over here, stay nearby. Okay.
Each unit has a status bar, indicating remaining moves, attacks, and abilities.
Another thing that wasn't explained in the previous one, this bar underneath here, yeah, so green means it can still move, red means it can still attack, and the yellow is how many abilities they've still got to activate. Really clear. Yeah, there we go. I preempted it. Nice look, a nice sort of like clear graphics here as well, so you can see which actions are available. Each one will flash when you're about to take that action. Once used, they'll be grayed out. Perfect. This is a really big improvement.
Let's reset the grounds for some unit synergy.
Unit synergy.
Combine unit abilities in creative ways to enhance your strategy.
Okay, let's see how we can enhance this.
The enemy is out of Extilior's movement range. But Crankbait's grappling chain ability can yank the target over.
That it can. The other thing we could potentially do is move over here and pull Extilior towards us, but use grappling chain to move the target closer to Extilior. So let's just do what it says to begin with. Pull this forward, because there are ways in which you can sometimes mess these things up. And we'll just melee attack there. I do think this scenario here should maybe shrink a little bit. Let's shield of hope ourselves. We're going to disobey some... Oh, it wasn't that defensive. Oh, so we saw the new leadership animation there.
He can move and use Sword of Justice to eliminate all targets in a single turn.
That's absolutely what he can do. So what we can do is we can just move so that we've got vision onto Extilior. There we go. Grapple chain him this way. Make him move into the middle. Make sure we just get these and not anything else. And use the Sword of Justice. There we go. Lovely. So we did go through the tutorial, I believe, previously, but this is just such a nice, clean, fully voice acted, more leadership animations.
Congratulations! You're ready to graduate to more advanced concepts.
I really hope there's a more in-depth tutorial throughout this as well, because this is a great thing. I still really like this new animation. For some reason, the victory card, it feels slightly different, but again, happy with it. So that's tutorial module 1. So this is the only thing we can do. So I think this is going to be the same one again. So let's just find that out. It is, yes. So we'll concede this. But yeah, that's a huge, huge change we've got there on a brand new tutorial module. It looks as though there's going to be a modular system. We can still hear Maximus just talking his way in the background. So yeah, it looks like there's going to be a modular tutorial sort of system, which is a really, really good change, because we have obviously got this here with the how to play. This video was really helpful, but the problem is things like this are going to be completely different now. So a lot of the game has changed, so that video is probably going to be, a large amount of it is probably going to be pretty much irrelevant anymore. So having a whole new system, a whole new sort of tutorial method, and the tutorial feels better than the original one as well. It's got a bit of humour to it. It's got the voice acting coming through from Maximus's voice actor, who does a smashing job on that every single time. Honestly, really, really glad to see that. So what I'm going to just quickly do now is have a look through and see if there's any other changes that we can see. I know that there was some talk of potentially some balance changes as well, so I'm just going to have a look through leadership cost and see if there's anything here that we can see that stands out. So these all look pretty similar. No, they have taken place, because hit and run's now dropped to a 3 leadership unit and things like that. So it does look as though there's going to be a few potential sort of tweaks to the meta coming forward as well. So things like Peacemaker Balam no longer generates Cinder, because that was starting to get a little bit oppressive. Balam's super powerful. Turncoat only generates 1. So yeah, there's a whole new meta coming through here. We've got some really interesting, like Broken Vengeance is now a 3 Cinder unit, a 3 leadership unit. I'm still getting used to that. I think Arya lost a health maybe, and as did Stitchy, lost 2 because it's now a 1-drop. So again, a load of changes here. I do still think that, I think Jester mentioned in fact that having the +0 doesn't really accomplish anything. You might as well just show if they generate Cinder or not. But I really, really like this. So we can sort by Cinder generation now. You can have a look at what generates the most, the least. Switchback not generating any is a an interesting one, because I can't remember, did it generate any previews? I don't think it did. So yeah, there was because I was trying to figure out if we could do Switchback turn 1 with Astra, use the Cinder Orb, get double activation of Switchback, potentially dealing 12 damage like we did in the cargo run. So with all of this changing, I think we're on track for another big shake-up in what's good, what's going to work here, and I'm really looking forward to putting some lists together. I can't wait for the big changes to come to live. I really, really can't, so we can actually start getting some real time into it, play some ladder matches or sort of league matches, just some queued matches basically is what I'm looking forward to, rather than having to find a specific opponent, and just being able to dive into games and have fun on that front. So all in all, some really great looking changes coming up. I think they're definitely getting it into a position where they're ready to go with a huge update for this next one here. And it's not going to have every single thing that we'd be hoping and dreaming for. Just to point that out, like, we're going to have a huge process in terms of getting everything to meet all the needs that we want, but the dev team have been working so hard behind the scenes. Having seen the conversations on Reddit, on Discord, having spoken to a few myself, they've been working so hard in getting this up to scratch, and honestly I couldn't be happier to be a member of this community. I'm also really enjoying the Underdome League at the moment. We've already got plans in place for what happens if the update comes through, and then we're going to have to change the format slightly, generate different lists, especially if it comes midweek. So really keen to have a go with all of this. If you like the video, please do hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you're excited for in the future of Moonbreaker. Really looking forward to hearing from you. Go and support on the Patreon if you can do. It's the best way to support, and the link's in the description below. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.